You ready?
I'm ready.
This is your spiritual podcast station, bringing you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. This is the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. We are live right now in the 1831 studio. My name is Natia Moore.
And I'm Anthony Fliggins.
And this is Pastor Anthony Said. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Pastor Anthony Said. Make sure you like, share, comment, and follow us on our YouTube page.
Do so, everybody.
Listen, we have brand new episodes available on the YouTube. Make sure you share it with someone.
Yes.
How you doing?
I can't complain. What about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Good. No
I'm
complaints
pretty
at all.
good,
No
yeah.
complaints at all. I'm sitting here and enjoying my Monday.
Yes.
You know, Monday is like a moon day.
It's definitely
But
a moon
it's,
day.
But it is Monday. So, you know, it is the day the Lord made, right?
That's right.
Let us rejoice
Rejoice and be glad in it.
about it. So, yeah, so that's where we are.
Yes. So we are live right now on Facebook. Everybody start putting some likes in and share. Let us know if you are able to hear us well.
Yes. Let us know if we have any buzzing, all of our followers. Do we have any issues with the with our system? We are using this time to sort of upgrade, update,
Yes,
upload,
definitely.
up everything.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
this whole
yes.
system. So we're doing this, and so we can better serve our audience, and
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Yes.
And I'm glad I'm a part of this and a part of the growth, and I am a part of this particular podcast, and I'm just excited about what the Lord has given me, and I'm also excited about our ability to sort of to speak history into advance, and then watch the things that we do actually take place and flow in its proper order. To see this it is a divine blessing, and then also I'm glad about it because of the inspiration.
Definitely.
So when you not only inspire but can inspire others,
Yeah.
like it is a big and a unique and a huge blessing. So
It really
that's where we
is.
are. Yeah. That's what's going on. That's how we feel.
It really is.
That's how it is.
I'm just logging on to see if we can
Yeah.
make sure we're able to, everyone's able to hear. This is episode 106.
106, episode 106.
106.
Yeah.
We're still in season 1 now. We did have we never really settled this. Is this what you want to do now? You don't feel like it?
No, I don't feel like it.
Of course you don't feel like it. You know why you don't feel like it?
Let's go.
Because you're going to lose.
No.
It's a bet.
Yeah, I'm not losing. I'm gonna tell you why.
You've already lost.
I'm gonna tell you why. But without all the loud talking and everything else.
Loud talk.
Yeah.
I'm calm.
Okay, so without that,
Okay.
there were supposed to be episodes, but the seasons really don't have to have seasons. If you watch, so far I've watched Joe Rogan. I watched 348 podcasts. I did 358 from Jordan Peterson. I watched podcasts by various ministers, and I've even watched some. I listened to other podcasts. What they had on the podcast is actually episodes, and so they have episode 1 to 300 and something, but no seasons. So the argument was, as long as we are in season 1, if we come up with an interim season, it's still part of season 1. And I'm saying that no, season 1, season 2, season 3 is a made-up thing on our end. The episodes is what you have to upload. The seasons is up to us. So you don't have to have a season at all when you are actually doing a podcast. And I chose Jordan Peterson's and Joe Rogan's is because they are the two most watched podcasts in the last 2 years. And so, yeah, so if they sort of set the bar as to how podcasts should be ran. So when I watched them, so I found out they had seasons. Neither one of them have seasons. They just have episodes. So you don't need seasons. So if you like, my Cash App is 1831
No.
Courts.
No.
It says 1831 Courts.
No,
you can go ahead and send me my money.
No.
Let us have it.
Okay. So I'm glad that you got the information from, who did you say?
I said Joe Rogan,
Joe Rogan
Jordan Peterson.
and Jordan Peterson.
Go for it.
That's excellent. My standpoint, I was coming from a technical part, and you probably would know about this, and we're going to talk about this. The technical part is how we go about actually uploading the episodes and the seasons. all podcasts, when you look at it, you might not necessarily see a season listed or episode listed, but when you upload it and when it becomes processed into the RSS feed of the system, it only is official if you have an episode and a season.
That's not true.
So I called the podcast
That's
people
fine.
because I had to clear this up, and I want my money. And my Cash App is $ I am the TMO. Now, anyway, let me finish. So technically, we were kind of that. We both had some things we were right about, and we both had some things that we actually were wrong about. Okay, you ready?
I'm not wrong about anything I just said.
You are wrong.
Let me tell you why.
Well, first of all,
I was the one that came up with the
you
season.
can't. That's fine. That's not the point.
Here's the point.
No, the original, what you said initially was this. You said podcasts do not require it to have a season.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's incorrect. Every podcast is required to have a season number.
We want to ask everybody on right
We're
now.
not asking them because they don't have a podcast.
No, people do have podcasts on it.
Well, the people that had the podcast that are actually registered on Apple and Spotify. That's what we want to comment.
No, we want to comment. Everybody who has a podcast, if there has to be a season, those who have a podcast, if there has to be a season, please note that there must be a season. Please note that there must be a season.
Okay. Let me finish
know
one
that
thing.
we have to have episodes, but you said it don't have to have a season.
No, I said they have to have a season.
And I say it don't have to have a season.
You're saying they don't have to have a season.
Yes, so all those who have a podcast,
Can I finish my whole line? Because I'm not done. Really
I know, but this is the part we arguing about.
No, we have a couple parts that
I have no argument on anything else.
Okay, because we also talked about the episode number. You wanted it to be 1.5. Yes.
No. I was using it as an example.
But you said it can be done, and it can't.
No, I was using it as an example.
No, you said.
No, I said it can be 1.5, it can be 1.3,
yes.
it can be 100.
Yes.
I was using it as an example. So you're missing it.
No.
I was using it as an example.
Now, where we at? Whoever.
Listen, I was only using it as an example, everybody. That's why I said
we're going to come back to it.
Yeah, because
we're going to come back to it.
Because if it's 100,
it's documented.
If it's 100, I'm not going back to 1.5 or 2.3. I was using it as an example. I wasn't saying that's what it was. Okay. So I'm wise enough to know. I'm wise enough to know now you want to quit. So I'm saying
we'll have the footage next week because that's not what you said.
Sure. And I said it can be 1.5 or 1.3. I was using it as an example. That's why I use more than one number.
Okay.
So
that's not what you said. But
sure,
okay.
I did. But okay. But we got receipts.
We do.
And so my argument was never about the episodes.
Okay.
My argument was about the seasons. We made that up. It don't have to be seasons.
We didn't make that up.
I made up season 1. Wait a minute.
So
and how
I don't
do I know I made
I'm
up
not
season
really
1?
sure if we talk about the same.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm telling you I made up season 1 because I made up season 2. I made it up.
That's not the argument. It doesn't matter what you made up. So, I'm talking about how it's uploaded. The whole thing was how it's uploaded and how it has to be assessed as an official podcast for the seasons. That's all I'm saying. It does. In order for it to be uploaded.
We on here now.
Well, I talked to the people. I talked to the people that work for it's there.
Sure, you talked to them.
Yeah, I did. I have an email too.
Sure, and you never sent me the email.
Why would I? I wanted to wait.
So I wanted to wait. Against yours.
I wanted to wait.
Email,
I will send you the email.
And I'll send you $100.
All right, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's
I
fine.
know, and I guarantee you, it is 8:54 on September the 18th. I am standing here saying that I will give $100 online if she can send me.
And you will call me by the name that I want to be called.
Yeah, of course, by all means. I'll give you all that.
Like I said, both of us.
And we'll send the seasons. No.
Both of us
we're not splitting this.
No, because anyway, what we'll do is next week, I'm going to have the clips. Because you have a whole new tone
and the
this
email.
week, the email.
I don't feel like arguing about what I
don't
know.
want to argue, but you don't know it.
I don't have.
You don't know this one.
Okay, and you
know a lot.
Listen,
but you don't know this one.
And you never sent it to me. That's how I know.
I don't have to.
Why
because
not?
we're going to discuss. I want to discuss.
Oh, let me see the email.
Because
when
you
you're
made
done.
a bet.
Email, right?
Yeah, we'll pull an email.
No. After we're done, let me see the email.
I will.
All right. Now,
that's why I brought it up.
And I'm gonna show you online. So we're going to do it online. So I'm going to come back on my live, and I want to see the email.
Okay, that's fine.
Look at that smile.
But like I said,
look at that
I always smile. I love to smile.
That smile saying he got
But like I said from the very beginning, there are things that we both...
It's over,
let me
Tia.
finish.
You got the email.
No, let me say what I'm saying.
Hey, Kayla.
No. Wait 1 second, Kayla.
We got the email.
I'm about to put you on the camera. No.
We got the
What
emails.
I am saying is there were some things that you had correct, some things I had correct.
Tia.
Now, what I want to clarify, for the episodes, right?
You got the
I
email.
did find out that for the episodes, that is not technically required to have a episode number on your like live feed.
You got the email, Tia.
You know, I'm done with Jim. That's all about no more.
You got the email.
It's fine.
So since you got the email, when we done, show
Everybody,
me
we're
the email.
in our interim.
I know I got this money. I need.
You do not. I'm sorry to tell you.
If you got the receipt,
I hate to
show it
blow your
me.
bubble, but
If you got the receipt, you say I got the emails. This is beautiful.
it is. It's a beautiful
Be
thing.
careful when you talk to me.
Anyway,
Let's go.
I just can't wait to pull up these episodes
No,
to pull up
the
the receipts
email,
because
the
we gonna
email.
pull up the email, but we
All right.
gotta put it next to what you said because you're saying something different from what you said last
No,
week.
I'm not.
Everybody on here, if I'm going to anyway, we're
We
gonna
got
get
the
to.
emails, y'all.
We are in our interim period. Listen,
We got the emails.
we're in our interim period, and we have opened up the studio to get to all the guests that would like to come in and share. Tonight we have a very special guest with us, Miss Kayla. I just now added her to the screen. Your mic is
Springfield.
on. Yes, Springfield.
Stringfield.
Wait a minute. Stop.
You just
Stop.
did you
Just already.
Stop.
see what just happened?
Stop. I've been a pastor for like how long?
A long time.
Been a pastor for a long time.
Yeah.
High school, middle school,
I don't know. It was like probably 8th grade.
8th grade. One of the brightest stars in our ministry. All our young people are bright stars. I thought your name was Springfield.
Oh wow. No.
It's Stringfield.
String. ST.
I knew that.
You knew that?
I
Yeah,
did.
I swear I thought it was Springfield. I don't know how I got that wrong.
Because Springfield. Is
You know why?
common.
I
Yeah.
got it wrong because I know you as Kayla.
Right.
And that's it. And so at the last name basis really don't, because we know each other on the first name basis. And that's why. So we good to go. How you doing?
I'm excited.
Good.
I am tired,
Okay.
but I'm excited.
Good,
And I'm
good.
like fake nervous.
You fake nervous?
Fake nervous.
Oh, yeah, you not.
What's fake nervous?
What's that? Not big nervous, fake nervous.
Fake nervous.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Because I know that I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I know that this is going to be an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
However, it's like my hands don't stop
Little
shaking.
bit, yeah.
So I'm having a conversation with myself in my head, like,
Yeah,
okay, you deserve to be
Stay
here.
with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay
You
with
know
it.
you
Yep.
need to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
you
know
do.
this is going to be great.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Can
it
you
is.
turn that just a little
Wh-
bit more
which
that
one,
way?
which one?
That one. Just a little bit this like this. Yeah. I think that's it.
You gotta go.
Let's see. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah, so
Just doing this
and so like I said, this is our interim period. In our interim period, while we were
Yep.
working on the our audio and our video, we said we need to open up this studio for people to come up into, especially people that were a part of our lives, part of this ministry, and we want to showcase their business, their work, their efforts, who they are, their lives. And we asked people to come up, and it has been a blessing so far. No one said no. Glad you were honored to say yes. You are the youngest.
That's what I was saying.
I think we had on. So we're going to hear life from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So I am excited about this. I have a whole lot of questions.
Okay.
I have a whole lot of questions. I have more questions. I used to talk to people and tell people that I actually have more questions than I do have answers. And having more questions than I have answers has allowed me to keep myself. I'm always at a place of humility. I'm at a place where I'm humble, and I'm at a place where I'm always learning, always developing, always listening, always asking, seeking, and I'm always sort of, I guess, prowling for information, but not getting in anyone's business,
Right.
Because I want to know who you are. So, first question: who are you?
Who are you?
Introduce yourself.
Very much that girl. So,
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, we done started.
Here we go.
Oh,
Make sure you talk
my
directly in the mic so we
goodness.
can hear everything you
Oh
have to say.
man, I was not looking to hear that one.
I am that
Okay,
girl.
let's go. All right, let's go. This is about to be good.
hello, everybody. I am Kayla Stringfield again. I don't want to say my age because somehow, some way, one of my students will find this video. So to that point, I am very young. I am in my earlier 20s. I am a mom. I have a daughter. She's 1. I'm a teacher
Okay.
in this day and age. I am a 9th grade Algebra 1 teacher.
Woo.
Nice.
So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
But
let's talk about that.
yes, like I am very, 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 if I could put myself in, give myself an adjective, I am very, very, very purpose driven. I am extremely intentional about everything that I do because I do know that I can create the life that I want.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm very transparent as well, so you'll get to know a lot about me with
Okay.
all of the questions.
Good.
And really nothing else.
All right. All
Okay.
right. Are we ready?
Yes,
All right. You said that you can create the life that you want.
I know I can.
You know you can. Are you doing it right now?
Yes and no.
And what does creating look like to you? Why do you use the word create? You say I can create the life that I want. What does that creation, that process look like?
First thing is just being intentional. And first, I feel like my statement was rooted in belief, and I feel like that is the creation that I'm talking about, or I'm
Okay.
alluding to. And I can explain just a little further. I guess because I simply have the understanding of like I know that if I speak life into things, it will happen.
Okay.
And I like a lot of my decisions are rooted in that. So when I say like create my life, I'm talking about literally. Obviously, we talk about goal setting, but like beyond goal setting, like does the things I do on a day-to-day basis align with where I want to go? Because that is the process of creation to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So are you in the process creating this life? Because you said yes. I said, are you living the life that you created? You said yes and no.
Right.
So you gave me the yes part, but what's the no part?
Right. So I feel like the no part can come from the imposter syndrome that we all have.
Let me hear about that.
I am very like hard on myself about a lot of things, almost everything. And I said no. I feel like my no was kind of rooted in the things that I know that I should not be doing, but I'm doing.
Okay.
Which in turn is kind of opposite of me being intentional about where I want to go.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Kinda,
So
yeah.
like it's kind of like if I could put another analogy outside of my life. Like you know you have the goal, but you also know the things that's going to stop you from getting to the goal.
Mhm.
But those things are also associated with you being a person. So
Like a
it's
human,
like
like a
I'm
regular-
trying to navigate this space by being a person, but also having a spiritual understanding of like I have control over this.
I hear you.
So that's kind of where I am right
That's
now.
where you are right now.
So I guess in terms of no, so for example, I know that I want to live off of my nonprofit organization,
Uh-huh.
but I also know that I am a full-time teacher, and the time and energy that I can give my nonprofit so I can do that goal much faster
Mhm.
is kind of like being hindered right now because
Got
of my job and my circumstances
Absolutely.
of
We've been
where I
talking
am
about
right
that
now.
last
Yeah,
couple of
we've been
weeks.
talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's like yes and no.
That's the yes and no.
But I also I answered my own question. Even when I said that, I won't say no. I just can say that I'm delaying the process.
You're delaying the process. Are you delaying the process because you got anything to say before I
Go
keep
ahead.
on? Are you delaying the process because purpose-driven people and creators, people that, and I always say that we are not just created, we are creative. You know, I tell my church we are co-creators, and so that's what I tell my church. So I get it. But I'm also keenly, fully, and in a sense, remotely aware, even within myself, that people that are creators and people that are purpose-driven also, at times, a lot of times, lack discipline.
Right. That's
Because
so true.
we so, you know what I'm saying, because we live in this creative realm of everything that we can do it all, and there's only 24 hours in a day, there's only but so many partnerships, there's only, you get what I'm saying? So I think that lack of discipline has then come in to sort of put us in a place where we feel like it may not be happening as fast as we think it should happen, and maybe in our being so purpose-driven, we must also learn to sort of be, well, not sort of, we must learn how to be disciplined in what we're doing so we can remain within our purpose. Because without being disciplined, we can become creative and lose purpose.
Right. I agree.
Everybody else enjoying the wealth, but we are sad.
Right.
Everybody else involved and happy for you, but we can't get ourselves together. Everybody else looking for you to do something good and beautiful and big, but we're looking at ourselves like, man, we can't get this thing off the ground.
Right.
So what part did that play in? And as a young lady, is discipline a big part of your life right now? And talk to a new mom too, by the way,
Yeah.
because babies
Yeah.
discipline you, whether you know it or not.
They will learn you.
vicariously.
Everything changes.
Let us hear this. Let us hear this transition, please, before and after.
So I am a Libra. I think that is I need to say that.
Okay.
because
I think
Tell us,
first
tell
one,
them
first
about
one.
Libras and why you said
Come
that first
on.
for those that are not
Okay.
really familiar
Y'all
with the
listen.
Libra
Which now
sign.
you a Gen X or Gen Z? Which one? You got to
Z.
find out. Z
Your
or X?
your
Gen
Z.
Z. You know everybody.
What's your
We discussing ages on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I found out.
I
Yeah,
think
find
it's-
out.
I think it's
Which is
X.
Gen X or Gen Z? You one of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
One of the
everybody
two.
after 1979 to me is a millennial. So I just call everybody millennials.
Oh
You know
my
what I'm saying?
God. Well,
Well, that's
definitely
true.
millennial.
That's how I do it.
Definitely millennial.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Everybody after 79, I call millennial. I mean, that's just me.
See.
But anyway,
But yeah, so
All right.
I said that
What's a Libra?
because a Libra is like the balance right there. It's like the balance sign. And I said that because a lot of things that I do say, I also see the other side of. So you might hear me go from this side to this side because that's just how I'm processing it.
See,
Okay.
So I
I
might
feel you.
contradict myself a little bit, but
While you're talking.
yes, but
Oh.
it comes
Does this sound
from,
familiar?
Oh man.
it comes from me just like listening
To both sides.
logic
Oh.
and then real like I don't it's
Logic and
it's
emotions.
crazy.
Yes, both of them. Both dichotomies working at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh
and
man, it
gets-
drives me crazy.
Very similar to the Gemini.
drives
myself.
me crazy.
completely
It's
understand.
like
Go ahead. Let's
I
hear
can
it.
say that, but I get it like this too. But
Can you
whatever.
can you just keep going
Oh,
with that?
man, go
Yeah.
I need them to hear it.
I got you. So what else was you talking about? This the part. That's the problem.
And that's Generation Z.
What's the
Okay.
real
Gen Z.
question?
The real question.
What is the discipline that I'm facing right
Yeah, no, what is it? So the question was the question. That's that balance side again. So what is the?
Shut up.
so, as a young woman,
Mhm.
how disciplined are you right now?
now? Okay.
Okay, after the baby, how disciplined were you before the baby?
So maybe one at a time.
Okay. So I guess in terms of like discipline, when I hear discipline, I think focus. You on the same page? Or no?
I mean, it's your
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
your story.
I was-
So
Yeah.
when I hear discipline, I hear focus, and I can honestly say I've always been a focused person.
Okay.
In terms of like just I'm young, so I'm referring to when I was in school.
Mhm.
Always knew like amongst all the things that I had to do, my grades needed to be top tier.
Oh.
So when it comes to prioritizing what's important, I'm very disciplined in that. But then on the other hand, it's like I understand and I know how important my purpose is. So why isn't that prioritized?
Okay.
And that is the conversation that's in my mind that makes me kind of feel a little bit bad that I'm falling off of my podcast or my nonprofit isn't where I want it to be. But however, I do understand too that me being a teacher is a part of my journey.
Yeah.
And am I really delaying my process? Am I really slowing my nonprofit down by, I guess, being present in this moment? Because this moment, or like what I'm like my career and stuff right now, is the knowledge that I'm getting is an asset to my nonprofit. Like it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
However, I still feel like I could be much further. But that's also because, that's also because I know that I could be doing a lot more. I'll say that.
Is that because of the boundary issue? Like, because when I think of boundaries, I think of setting. I mean, I'm not boundaries. When I think of discipline, I think of setting certain boundaries or setting certain goals or whatever. So,
Right.
Is it based around the goals that you have set that you feel like you're not quite?
So before I became a teacher, I became a teacher, I was doing this business. It's a network marketing business. And I literally, like, that was like the most pivotal moment in my life.
Okay.
And I've built the business with like 500 plus people in 9 months.
Okay.
Wow.
And I see myself so focused, like willing to risk it all. I didn't care. Me and my mother are like this.
Mm-hmm.
We even was like this at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was willing to do like whatever it took to get to that goal. And I compare my process for my nonprofit with who I was in that business a whole lot.
Okay.
So when I say I'm not as focused,
Mm-hmm.
because I am not. That business, when wake up to sundown, I'm on the phone, I'm building my business. I'm
Mhm.
building my brand. I didn't have nothing. And now with this, it's like that's nowhere near the same type focus, hustle, grind, nothing.
Mm-hmm. I have a question.
What's up?
The question I'm having is, have you finished talking first before I ask this question?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm right there where you are. So I'm not. you're saying you're not putting as much in this as you put into your business.
Right.
This is a nonprofit. Your business was a for-profit.
Right.
I have an honest question to ask you. I'm asking you to give me an honest answer.
Yeah.
Okay? Were you goal-oriented and were you strong at it and sort of, if you can use another word, bullheaded, because it had an immediate reward, financial reward, and the nonprofit does not?
That's a good question.
Is it because the coin in the bag that pushed you? And this one right here, it's more like a social service type thing.
Right.
You may not get that immediate reward. Can you honestly say that I was driven because of the money, and I'm not driven now because even though this is a good thing, could be a God thing, help folk out, but the bag might not be that, that immediate big bag. Is that a real thing?
I do think it's a real thing. I can definitely say yes, but I can honestly say no too.
Let's hear it.
Yes, because obviously, like,
I love the way you think.
like, yes, because obviously, if I sign up X amount of people, I'll get paid. Like, okay, so basically, whatever rank you secure on Monday, you get paid for that following Friday. So if I hustle up, and Monday I settle with a chairman 10, I know that next Friday I'm getting 2,500.
Okay.
So yes, because the reward was definitely there, but I guess in terms of the hustle that it took to get to that point, it wasn't the money. Because you're coming from, we sitting at ranks for months at a time. So like, okay, so when a business ended, I was like a chairman 10. So that's like $10,000 a month.
Okay.
But when I started, I was making nothing. And in order to get your business to 500 people and like retain them, it got to be, well, for me, it had to be more than the money. I don't even like being on the phone. So being on the phone all day with people that I don't know, talking to them about what, like, that is a lot. But I figured out, like, my science to the business was to really, like, I wasn't really teaching. I was teaching people how to make money. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't really trying to teach you how to make $1 million. I was providing perspective to the money that you were making that I could get you to make. And I seen, like, even I did morning motivation calls and stuff too.
Okay.
So it was just like I seen the responses that I got and the kind of like dependency my team had for me, and I was just like, I have to do this. Like, I have to wake up and do a motivation every day. I have to pick up the phone and ask her about her kids. So it was just, outside of the money, of course, played a big part, but what kind of kept me anchored was like the impact I had on my people, for real. Because I lost my rank a lot of times.
So what about the nonprofit? And why isn't that energy is not in the nonprofit?
Honestly, because so the difference between me building a nonprofit and me building that business is community. I have community. Don't get me wrong. I have support with my nonprofit. My nonprofit is the same name as my Forex business.
Okay.
I'm not shaking from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can talk about that later, but people know about it. However, in Forex, it was like, we're all in a group chat. We're all in this together. Like, I'm texting y'all all day. Like, me and my team is already here together. The nonprofit is like, I got to find a team. I want to have programming and stuff like that. I got to get funding for program. It's just a longer process where I can put everybody on the Zoom call. That's the event. And it was during COVID. So it's like, that's the event. I can get a $100 B&B. My whole team come to the Airbnb.
Right.
Get a hotel room. Everybody come there. So it was like a lot of less effort to get everybody together and much a bigger reward. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense.
And then for this, it's like, this is a lot of groundwork that conflicts with my everyday life. Being a new mom, it's like, I gotta have something. Like, I can't. With that business, I was young. I was still living with my mom. I ain't had no bills, nothing.
Right.
I can afford to not make no money on Friday.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like,
It's a little different.
you're not about to just not be making no money talking about nonprofit.
Right.
No, like, Lord, you gotta eat. So that is what the biggest difference.
That's the biggest difference. The biggest difference to get in the community around you that can, help you to, establish this or get this going.
Yeah. And my team didn't have to worry about writing me a check. And the nonprofit is like, y'all gonna be here too, but stuff I get paid for.
That's right. So,
right now I have to prioritize, I guess, solidifying my career, getting my certification in teaching.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm focused on right now.
Teaching. Good. Anything to?
Yeah, I have a separate question. So, it's great to see like how enlightened you are at this young age. Again, like we said, you're Generation Z. So we've confirmed this is Generation Z. Okay. So number one, where does this come from? Where does this enlightenment come from? Number one, and I guess my main question is, do you feel? I think that young people that get this spark very young is awesome. But I think it's also a lot of pressure because you get to like see the whole picture so soon. So some of those phases that some of us kind of went through, or it's almost, which is kind of a good thing because you kind of get over it. But at the same point, it almost puts like a lot of weight on your shoulders very soon. And the natural process of things is happening, but it's just different. It's just very different. So how do you deal with that part also?
I love that question because oftentimes, like on my Instagram, I'll post to my close friends, like, it's hard to be me. I say that line a lot. Like, it's hard to be me. And when I say that, people automatically think about, like, all of the things I could be going through.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, it's because I feel so alone being so young and thinking so big.
Yeah.
And not even on, like, on a spiritual note, not about goal setting and shooting for the stars and stuff like that. It's just, like, truly seeing God in every situation.
Mm-hmm.
At this age is like, girl, you out here by yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's either people too religious or just no spiritual connection at all.
Mm-hmm.
It is not really many people that are grounded and see life for what it is. And that's it. So it is hard. It is a lot of pressure, but it's not scary.
Okay.
Like, I definitely feel like I'm like that. Like, I'm not going to lie. It is some confidence that comes with this mindset. With one, knowing that, first of all, I'm a teacher. So being this confident in front of girls that are not that much younger than me is so inspiring for me. Like, I be looking at myself like, wow, I wish that I had a teacher that was your age and knew the content and could connect the dots in my life for me and didn't really care about what staff would say. Like, I'm just so free, and I can share with my peers how to be free in the midst. Because I feel like when I look at some adults, it's like, okay, you went through life, some things happened to you, but you never really knew how to process it, and then you became this person that's 30, 50, whatever. And I feel like, we're all going through the process now. Young, in our 20s, we're figuring out life. Traumas are happening. But it's like, I can teach you how to, and I can teach myself how to process things so it don't become a wound.
Okay.
Even if it is a wound,
that's good.
I can kind of like
sew
it up now.
Yeah.
Instead of putting a Band-Aid on it and then somebody ripping it off when I'm 30.
Yeah.
So, walking my friends through that process is like, I am that person. I'm the person that people call when they just can't think to the next step. Like, and I take ownership of that a lot. And I think, where did this start? I honestly always had a connection with God. That's why I like this church from when we first came here. Like, I was young, but I knew what Pastor was talking about. I was real young, but he spoke in a language that I understood. But even before that, I always remember. So my mom has a friend. Her name is Keita, and she goes to church. Oh, West, I don't really know. But I remember I stayed a night.
Hey, Keita, Pastor.
I spent the night at her house, and we went to church on Sunday. And I don't know what was going on, but the pastor, they did like a altar call. And he was like, I'm praying for 3 people. And I just knew. I'm talking young, like middle school, 7th grade. And I'm like, I know he talking about me. I know. Like, I feel it in my soul. And 2 people went to the altar. And here I go. I'm a kid. I'm not going up there. Like, I'm not. And he was like, I just need one more person. Like, you know who I'm talking to. And next thing I know, I was at the altar.
Wow.
And, like, I can never forget that story, ever. And it's just, like, when I do think back on, like, all my life, I always got chill bumps in church. I always felt the spirit. And when I was in college, I felt like it was really knocking at my door. Like,
okay,
I need to talk to you. And I remember I was dropped. Like, this is so real. I don't think I've ever said this, so I'm going to cry. But I was driving from home to school. I went to Lincoln, so I was driving an hour, and feelings hurt, got that knot in your throat.
Yeah.
I had that knot in my throat all the way until I got to school. And you know how like when you have to use the bathroom, you get home, it's like I really gotta go.
Yes.
That's how the tears were. I got to my dorm, I was literally running to my room. Got to my room, slammed my door. I broke after that, like crying for hours. And then after that, I started to watch Sarah Jakes Roberts morning, night, like it just every day. It felt like I had to do it, like because okay, so let's say I watch something at night, the next morning at breakfast, something I will talk to somebody, and whatever they going through, the answer to their problem was what Sarah told me last night.
Okay.
Or that morning. So I created like this feeling of like guilt a little bit. Like if I don't watch this, somebody not gonna get what they need. So it became a thing. Like keep going. And then also that year, Miss Lincoln, at the time, she was doing sister circles, where all of the women on campus would come together and just talk about like gospel and stuff like that. So we used to talk about Bible verses and stuff like that. Things we went through on campus. And I remember I just used to listen for the most part. And then one day, I was sharing something. I don't remember what I was talking about. But my eyes was closed. Often, if you see my eyes closed now, that means I'm really just, I don't know. But I often talk with my eyes closed just so I can say things how I hear it. So I was talking with my eyes closed. I woke up. Everybody was crying. The whole room. And it was that moment where I knew I needed to speak.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's it.
Wow.
And then I just doing my thing.
I know that's right. So where does the inspiration come from now? So when you were like involved with the talks that or the preaching and teaching that Sarah Jakes Roberts, love her, by the way. But like where does the inspiration come from now? Is there someone that sparks something in you and from there it branches on, or what have you found now if something has changed that initiates or brings on that spark or that thing that gives you the motivation to talk and speak to people?
Anything. Like anything that happened, I can kind of turn to a revelation.
Okay.
Or a
Good.
lesson.
Good.
And I do still listen to Sarah, and she said something so good the other day. If it's appropriate later, I'll bring it up. But yeah, I feel like I understand the mission that I have in my life, and that's the spark.
Okay.
Like I am praying for wisdom though right now. I'm praying to know when to speak, because sometimes I feel like I can be speaking out of turn. Like not all the time is what my perspective appropriate.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out when is it for me to say something and when is it for me to just listen and shut up. Like, so I guess the motivation definitely comes from me understanding like, Kayla, you are young and you have a perspective that can save a lot of people.
Definitely.
And that's it.
That's
so every time I feel like, it's like, because if that's common sense to me and you really stressed and depressed about it, I'm going to just say something.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh,
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's
Y'all
like,
good.
I
That's
can
good.
just,
Yeah.
like, I feel like
She's
I
a
can
Gemini.
just
I don't know about this Libra stuff.
take your brain and twist it a little bit.
Okay, I get it. That's interesting because I'm the exact opposite, by the way.
Really?
Yes, I am. I am the exact opposite, and I'm the exact opposite. And there's a reason why I'm the exact opposite, by the way. At least I know the reason why. But I do remember, and I'm asked here the same thing. Listening to your spiritual journey at a young woman growing as in your adolescent years, and the spiritual awakening that you're hearing, that you're remembering and knowing. Because I remember too being in a church, and a pastor said he said there were 3 or 4 people, and it's a mega church, and I'm from the small church community, that's where we come from. And, where I grew up, we didn't see any more than 25 on an average Sunday. That's about it. And like I said, that's just how I grew up, and that's So I went to this mega church. I've been there for about a year. I'm not gonna say their name. And he said, and I was in the crowd. He said, somebody over here needs to be up here, and we need to work together. You need to shake my hand. And I never moved. And the inside of my stomach was turning. I mean, I felt like my heart, my stomach, and my throat was all in motion at the same time, and I never moved. And I knew he was talking to me, and I did not move. So it was like yours. 2 or 3 people went up, And he said, I feel one more person over here. And he had his hand. I remember having his hand out. He said, you need to put your hand in my hand now. And I just didn't move. And I just never got up to shake his hand. And he said, I'm going to call you one more time. And then he said, thank you. And then he went and prayed for the other ones. And after he said thank you, the feeling that I had went away. My question was, how many people in that area felt the way I felt? Was it just me? What I also know, I was 26 then. What I know now is when I speak to somebody and I know I'm talking to them and they're not moving, but they know, I know who you are and I know I'm talking to you. So now I don't call you up front because I know exactly who I'm talking to. I know if I don't know who I'm talking to, I know that I am talking to somebody, and now I'm able to minister to the person that does not move at all.
Exactly.
That experience, and that's why I'm taking this up. That experience made me a minister to minister to people that are afraid to move. And they're not afraid to move because they are scared to move. They're not afraid to move because they are not sure they are called to make that move.
Yeah.
They just not sure. Like, I want to get up. I know it's me. I know it's God. I know it's real. I know what I'm hearing. I know what I've been praying for, but I'm not quite sure. And I think that's a lot of people who just aren't sure. So now I find myself ministering with a non-complicated gospel, a gospel that makes sense. I got to explain it sometimes over and over again because it makes too much sense. But I just to meet the person who's saying, I'm not sure it's me. I want to take the meal and put it right at your feet. Say, no, this is you. Now you can pick it up when you're ready to, but this is you. And I watched the transformation in people because I've made the gospel that simple. Something happened to me that changed the way I minister. And it was the fact that I did not move when I was supposed to. Now I'm able to minister to people who just will not move at all because they're not sure. Let us hear it.
Ooh, like, okay. So I heard a lot, and I'm closing my eyes because I don't say it how I hear it. So when you were saying all of that, I heard and I connected the dot that, okay, I feel like that my focus is on the obedience people. Okay. And I'm not going to, I say obedient because it's like I want to work with, or I feel like I'm called to work with those who want to change.
Okay.
And I say that because I want to be a life coach. I was about to go back to school to be a psychologist, so a therapist, something like that. And I told myself, I said, that's not really what I want to do. My mom gave me that idea.
Okay.
I was going to do it. And then I thought about it like, that's not what I want to do. Why? Because I don't really want to be within the guidelines of what a therapist got to do and all of that. I don't want to do that. I want to work with people that's saying, listen, I want to go to the next chapter. I want to do this. I'm ready.
Okay.
And it just highlighted like how obedient I am. And don't get me wrong. Every time God say jump, I don't jump. Okay? But for the most part, I am very obedient. Okay. If I feel it, I'm going.
Okay.
If I see it, I'm moving.
Okay. Yeah.
If I hear it, I'm attacking. But that's also why I struggle with being disciplined.
I'm about to say impulsive.
Yeah.
Obedience can blur the lines.
Yes.
Go for it.
And that's why I struggle with being disciplined sometimes. But I can honestly say, I do have this idea that I want to start a program for young people in education. I am not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. And it's taking everything out of me to not make a post on Instagram right now.
Wow.
And say, hey, y'all, if you're a new teacher that don't have an education background and you need support, let's join the support group.
That's nice.
Yeah. That is great. It's a great idea.
But you don't.
That's not for me.
Right now. Because you don't want to deal with the people that might not be at that. Like a lot of people, some people come and they're just not quite ready. They need a lot. Is it because of the extra help they might need? Or?
Oh, no. I think it's just because my focus is in so many other places. I would be a fool to add something else to my plate.
Yeah, that's good.
Priority.
That's good.
Like,
prioritizing.
That is going to really make P3 go all the way down to the priority list.
Yeah.
When the truth is, that's really what I want to do. That's what I need to be doing.
Right.
Okay.
I do not desire to be a teacher for a long time.
Got it.
I just know that this is working for right now, and it makes sense to be a part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am very limited to who I can be for my students because I'm their teacher,
Got it.
Okay.
and I don't want to exist in this bubble box for a long time.
That's good.
So I'll maybe do it. Maybe, I don't know. It's a cute idea. It's just, it's pretty cute because everybody's teachers right now. And these kids still need 100% of us, and
Yeah.
we don't really know how to do that all the time.
Right.
But I mean, you could go join a program just like I did, and then that's it.
You can
Like,
show them where the program is.
I do not
Show
have
the
to
way.
be the program. Like, I don't have to do that.
Okay. Ted, you got a spiritual journey? You remember anything about one of yours?
Like a story about
Yeah,
being
like
in
something happened to
church
you.
and,
Like it's not. It can be in church. It can be in your car. It can be anything. But there has to be. So, because the key word I heard today was spark,
Oh yeah.
and I think that we can
Okay.
build this, around that spark, that that Tony Sparks. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? That that light in the center, and
Okay.
I think that spark. So, is there anything happened to you that you can remember or that you can reflect upon or something?
Yeah, I guess I would say my story that kind of reminds me of that a little bit is so before I really was active in church, I used to like pray in my living room, and I would see people there, not like schizophrenic people,
No, I
but
get you.
more like I want to clear it up because people, I don't know, and that's fine. But it's fine. So I would see like the Lord would show me like
Right.
people that I was ministering to. I didn't know I was ministering. I didn't know any of those terminologies. I just knew that there were songs that I had inside of me, and I would sing and I would minister, I would pray, and I really would be in a whole tizzle in my living room. And so when I came to the Court of Christ, I think I had just joined. I can't remember the time frame because my memory's not that good, but I had just joined not that long ago, and it was an all-night prayer service here. And I remember the pastor was like, Pastor Anthony, he was like, the mic is open. He just kept saying the mic is open. If you want to come up and pray, if you want to share a poem, or like we just had like these interim periods in the worship where we just kind of stopped. And I just felt this like go, and I was like, well, why you feel like this? Because I never had done it before. I never really sung in front of anyone independently, like by myself. I mean, with the church that I was at prior, I was on like a teen choir, but it wasn't real. It was fake. We only sung one time. And so it was the first time I actually had sung. And so, like I said, I felt that burning, that get up. And I just couldn't sit there any longer. I came up and got the mic, and like I closed my eyes, and I was in my living room. And then I opened, and it just, next thing I know, I was just going, and I in that particular flow, I just remember kind of being shocked at myself when it was done, like, oh, what just happened? Because I'm not sure, but I just look at it as practice for what was happening, or what God was kind of opening like my eyes to see, or preparing me in a kind of weird way with nobody actually there. But that would be my moment for that. I remember being like, okay, and that was that.
Yeah.
So I would use it as that.
Go ahead.
I think this is a perfect time to bring up what Sarah said.
Okay.
Okay, so she talked about she was talking about opportunities, and she talked about how we always refer to God like opening up doors and stuff like that. That's very common, but she also highlighted the fact that He opens up portals.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
we do like a teletransport type of image
Right.
in your brain. And that whole season or that moment, I feel like was definitely a portal for me. Forex alone, that moment when you was singing at the church, that was a portal. You was entered to a new dimension, which changed your thought process.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so dope for her to say, because we do always talk about opening doors, what's on the other side, beautiful. But we never talk about the experiences that could really like shift everything.
Right.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that was a really good moment.
And
Wow.
I feel like that's
Really
what
wanna say
people are trying to say. I think people are trying to say that realm or that portal is there, that entryway, and they just is kind of maybe more hard to articulate what happens after you hit that door or that realm or that dimension. Like it's like people stop with
Right.
the description.
And you get to a certain place. You always get to a certain place that when you find yourself at that place, and you're dealing with a portal and being, you know what I'm saying, sort of pushed into, or you know what I'm
Sucked
suction.
into,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That right there is because you're at a certain place of either wisdom or obedience. You have reached a certain place of humility or a certain place of openness where you can be. You can recognize it. Because all of us, when you're dealing with dimensions, and because we're younger, there are certain conversations I do not have with people because I feel like I'll lose the people, but I think y'all can handle this conversation. When you reach a certain dimension, and when you do a dimension, it's the dime, and then it's what you mentioned. It's the dime, so it's 10, it's complete. So if you reach one complete level, but you are stuck at that level, the only way to get to the next level is to be pulled.
Come on.
There is no other way to get there. Someone has to recognize it, say it, you sense it, see it, feel it, and it sort of pulled you. So you feel like something just, so people say stuff like, I was in my chair, and before I knew it, I was on the altar. Or I was in the seat, before you knew it, I would just jump in the shower.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or a man was like, before I knew it, I just kissed her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like something in you pulled you to that.
Next thing I knew.
Next thing I knew, I was pregnant. It's a real thing. Next thing I knew, I'm married. Next thing I knew, I'm a pastor. And like, they can't really tell you.
Yes. The journey.
That from at one point to another,
Yes.
they know what happened. But the only way they can describe it is something pulled me there. And now I'm here.
Yes.
And that is because there is a dimension that you reach. It is the seventh dimension. Okay. It is the dimension of wisdom. You get beyond work. That's the sixth dimension, is work. The fifth dimension is grace. The fourth dimension is earth. It's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what these dimensions are. Yeah. You get to the seventh dimension, you have reached the dimension of wisdom. The dimension of wisdom is saying that now I am attentive to the things that I'm working on. Yes. I'm not just going to work.
Yeah. Right.
I am attentive to these things. And so when you become privy to detail about who you talk to, what you say, how you say it, should I change, should I move, you are sensitive to seasons. Like I notice right now, a lot of people are tired right now. And they're getting tired because the seasons are changing.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah, so everybody like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I need to go to the hospital. Like, no. Seasons are changing. That's all. But you recognize it, even when you recognize it in yourself. You recognize it. And then recognizing this, when it's time for you to get to another place, again, that seventh dimension is wisdom, and a lot of people are there. They don't know they're there.
Yeah.
The eighth and ninth dimension, you cannot get there on your own. You have to be pulled there.
Wow.
That's the calling. There is no quantum leap. There is no step or stage. You have to be at a place when you say, okay, Lord, I'm ready. What's happening? What's going on? You are paying attention to your life. You have been through your business, baby, life change, business fall, this thing happened, this thing changed. So now you're a young woman with all of these pieces happening, and it's almost happening at the same time. A lot of people got pulled in things when everything shut down too.
Yeah.
That's another thing, because we were paying attention to everything.
Yes.
Who's sick?
Yes.
Who coughing?
Yes.
Somebody coughing. Everybody like, we were all attentive. And that's why a lot of businesses and things happened during that time, because a lot of people were in that place of just trying to protect themselves. It was just a place where we all were. So you were either going to fall back or be pulled forward, or be pulled into, and that's that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Happens to all of us who reach that place. When you recognize that place, you need to recognize that place so you can recognize when others are there.
Awareness.
You recognize, like, I know where you are. I mean, when you see somebody who's a sponge, you talking and teaching, they not saying anything. Eyes locked on you. You know what I'm saying? Their eyes are so locked on you, they make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you looking at? Something on my nose? I got something on my teeth? You know what I'm saying?
No,
and they just dead locked. They are just locked in. And you're like, why are they so locked in? Why are they so focused? I see it in church sometimes when everybody else is worshiping and everything else, and somebody just locked in. They dead on. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize it, so I try to say their name, or I try to, acknowledge their presence. I know you are here, and that field of awareness is there. You are listening to every word that's coming out of my mouth. But you don't need every word. You only need one.
Yeah.
But every word is necessary for the one that you need.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you get pulled. So that's that right there. I think, I've had that too. Just that. You know what I'm saying? Mine's came when I became a pastor, and I didn't want to pastor because I had a few things I thought I couldn't do. And I gave excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And this old man, he was in his 80s, he says, no, son, it's time. Let's go. Use my church. And he spoke to me in such a way that it just gave me no more excuses. And I had a whole bunch of them, but I've been hearing God for an entire year.
Yeah.
I'm scared of people just want to jump on the pulpit. I'm scared of people just want to jump into it. We're going to deal with that too in obedience. Because even your obedience must be matched with a level of humbleness.
Yeah.
So you make sure that you are stepping in the right place and at the right time. And and then when you get there, there are still more questions because you question yourself about what you got to say when you say it, even though you know what you're about to say or how effective you're going to be. All these questions are valid questions, but they are not questions to question who you are.
Yeah.
They are questions that you can tend to so that you will understand the people who have those same questions. So, in ministry, in life, in what y'all doing, answer the questions.
I feel like that.
Answer the questions. Go for it.
So that's a part of like my lesson plan template, just to
Okay.
put it in perspective.
Okay.
So like at the top of the lesson plan, it says lesson internalization.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not internalizing the lesson for me. Obviously, I know how to do it, but I'm internalizing it so I can deliver it in a way for somebody that don't know anything about it.
Good.
Right.
And I feel like that is the most crucial part of my lesson plan because if I don't do that part, yeah, I get it, but can I articulate it?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
I would have no students
That's right.
retaining any information
Yeah.
if I really did not process it, make sense of it to the, like,
That's right.
this root, for real.
Yeah.
Because I got to understand what you need to pick up on this skill, and I have to understand the prior skills that you need to actually do this. So it's like, I have to, all right, Kayla, yes, you know this, obviously, duh. You wouldn't be a teacher if you didn't. But the humbling part is me actually sitting down and thinking backwards to help them.
Nice.
So it's like, that's the part that people don't really understand about teaching. It's not about, do you know math? It's how well do you understand it to articulate somebody else.
Saying the word.
And in
That's right.
terms of like my life coach and mentoring aspect of my life, it's like, yes, Kayla, you're going through things. You've been through some things. However, the people that you talk to have way different stories. So you have to study and you have to internalize things beyond what you know and how you process it if you're really trying to be effective to these people
Right.
outside of the classroom. I'm not talking about students no more.
Okay.
So that's something that I really, really do. And that's why I watch like different things, like different podcasts. It's not always spiritual, but
Right.
just to hear different people's perspectives and like watching different documentaries. This might be a little crazy, but I actually watch the videos on, like, it's this guy on YouTube, but he like goes around the hoods and like interview people that's addicted to drugs. And I listen to them and I hear them because I never know who I might run into.
Right.
And I need to see like from your side or however you feel about it, because to be honest, I don't know enough about that life.
Yeah.
So how can I help somebody help somebody that parent is suffering with addiction, or you might be suffering with addiction. How can I help you if I don't really know where you come from? So I kind of like got to do that.
If you have no knowledge of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to do some further research and
Right.
understanding and processing to be effective.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting because I always have, you got something to say?
Go ahead.
You know what I often say? I often say that God has a big sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? The way I see God is not, I don't see God in its, I do not like God in a religious tone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do not like God in religion. I do not like God in a book. God was before the book. God is after the book. I don't like God in any of those things.
Right.
God has a big sense of humor. One of the things that is ironic about God is God uses people in arenas that they have to minister to people, and when they minister to people, they minister to people that doesn't share their experience in life, have no idea as to what they are going through or what so-called an addiction is. So now God will use people who have never been sick to help those who are unhealthy.
Exactly.
And he will get those who have never been on drugs to minister to people that are on drugs. He will get the young to minister to the old, and he will make the old minister to the young. God has a way of using people outside
Yes.
of their own experience, outside of themselves. God will use an uneducated man to teach those who are, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
highly educated. He would do those things. And so we look at it, and it's the irony of God. It is the irony of God to send a perfect man to an imperfect world.
Yes.
Hence Jesus.
Yes.
It is strange to see this, but you have to respect the hand of God when it's at work like that, and when he's working with you like that. Because a lot of people got questions saying, well, I don't know what that is. Well, I don't know what that's been through. You know what I'm saying? Go for it.
I tell my mom this all the time. And I have this voice in my head every time I speak, anytime I speak, it's always a voice that say, but you don't know. But you don't know.
That's good.
You don't know everything. And my counter response is, I don't know everything, but I know enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is how I silence
Yes.
that voice
Yes.
that makes me feel like I'm not qualified or
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't do this.
Absolutely.
Got it. That's good.
And it's like, I feel like it's perfect to say this now because everybody knows I'm a member of this church, but you also know the last time you see me too.
Yeah,
You probably don't.
Yeah. Some new members don't know. You introduce yourself to the new members.
Yeah. So that right there.
Call of Christ.
So it's like a prime example of like, yes, on my way here, maybe that tingling I felt earlier was probably also rooted in, girl, you ain't been in church since when?
Yeah.
What you about to talk about? But people don't also know that I do church outside of church.
Yeah,
Right.
Definitely.
And I mean, I'm getting my way back. Don't get me wrong, but I do understand the whole idea of like congregation and stuff like that.
And the fellowship.
But I
and
can
all
bring the spirit in my car.
Yeah.
I do it every day. So it's like, that's just that. But earlier I had a question to what you were saying because we all know nobody wants to hear from the person that ain't been through what they've been through.
Right.
And my question is, do you think that God sends, I guess, people that haven't been through the same experiences to deliver because they aren't, okay, so I think about like when people go through things, their mind is shifted in a way. It's altered a little bit. And most times it's not in a way that is beneficial. So do you think that God sends a fresh perspective to kind of highlight or beam light on what's dark? Because not all the times, and I do know people that come from certain backgrounds and they heal from it and they can deliver. But most times it's like most people don't get to that healing spot. So I have to send somebody that ain't never been through this before to kind of make it make sense for you.
Yeah.
Without the wounds.
Right. So here it is. Whenever God sends you somewhere, or God give you a word, or God, he sends you somewhere, give you a word. One of the things somebody told me, and it always stuck with me. He said that whenever you filter the word, or whatever you filter the revelation, or whatever God given you, whatever you filter through your experience, your emotions, or your impulsivity, when you filter it through that, even your fears, you tainted what he gave you. One of the things you tainted what he gave you. One of our best presidents, really didn't have much experience in Capitol Hall. That is Barack Obama. He was only a senator for a couple of years. He built it not off being a big senator, but he built his campaign on being a community organizer. He had, and everybody who came to him, John McCain, kept saying he have no experience. That was the big kick against Barack Obama. He doesn't have experience. Chicago community organizer going to run the country. He has no experience. So here is a man who was running against John McCain, who'd been in the Senate for a long time, coming against this young, fresh guy, you know what I'm saying, from Chicago, who didn't have much experience, but says, hey, we're going to give the country a new direction. Again, experience taints the actual operation of God. Because you always look at it and say these words, that ain't never been done before. Or, I've never done that. Or, I've never seen it this way. And the Lord's saying, hey, I know, like you said, I am presenting something new. And I'm going to present something new by bringing someone who knows nothing about what they're about to deal with. And I'm going to give them the mission and the assignment to handle that. the irony of God.
Yeah.
So now we need teachers, ministers, life coaches to recognize these people within our sphere of influence and the community that we serve. And we said, okay, I recognize this is what the Lord is doing with you. You are going to have a difficult journey because you're going to be faced with people that says these words.
Yep.
I've never seen it that way. That's not going to work. That's not the way it is. But how would you bring something new?
Yeah.
Do you know what the definition of something new is? Something new means that you've done something new so well it makes the old obsolete. That's what new is. New is doing the new thing so well you don't even want the old anymore. You've caused the old to be obsolete. Uber has pretty much shut down taxi cabs.
Oh yeah.
Lifting Uber, you know what I'm saying?
Done.
Like it's like over.
Some people don't know what it is.
They don't even know what a taxi. Like over. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
the
what I'm
yellow-
saying?
right.
And hacking, remember back in Baltimore, hacking, yeah. It's over.
finger.
They did something new so well, it made something old obsolete. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you do this, I mean, and God will do this. You know what I'm saying? And if you even say something that people are not used to, they look at you like, oh man, that's not. They send you to, you know what I'm saying? They just kick you out. You know what I'm saying? They put you in a crazy home. But truth be told, listen to this, and I heard somebody say this. He said 150 years ago, if a man stood up and said horses would no longer be used as transportation, people would kick him out of the arena. If he got up or she got up and says horses will no longer be used as a mode of transportation, he would be kicked out. Kicked out. Because for all of human history, they've been traveling with horses.
Yeah.
But somebody got to say, you know what? We can do this a better way. And now ain't nobody riding horses but the cowboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obsolete now. Traveling with horses has been a part of human history for all of human history. All of human history.
Yeah.
Last 100 years, we just started driving. That is interesting. So will God do it? You better believe he will. He does it every day. It is our job as leaders to recognize
it, actually.
so we can start cultivating those people. And in those people, my job is not to cultivate their message, but it's to cultivate their strength. You're going to need another type of strength to deal with something. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need another type of strength, and everything you're saying is not going to happen tomorrow. Just because you said God said it don't mean everybody going to agree. And just because you said it's real and it's all this doesn't mean that it's for the moment. You're going to have to learn. I also teach people this. When people disagree with you, they're not disagreeing with you, they're disagreeing with your message. So don't be disagreeable in presenting your message.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
I think that went on my head. Say it again.
I'm going to say it again. When people disagree with you, they're not disagreeing with you, they are disagreeing with your message.
Right.
So don't be disagreeable with your message. Right. Don't use what you're giving as an attack to attack the fact that they slow.
Right.
Because that's what we do. Like, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all slow.
Okay. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you attacking them. And they like, no, you know you ahead. You know, you 5 years in the future. You know what I'm saying? Deion Sanders said, I'm around the corner somewhere. I ain't even thinking about today. I'm ahead. You know, people say that they are, Miles Monroe used to say that, you know, every Sunday, I'm always in the future. And he said, every Sunday I come back to the present to get y'all so I can take y'all with me. So you can't make people feel like they slow because you're so far ahead. That comes with humility. So what God would do is sometimes take those people that feel like they're those co-creators and those people who feel like they got something. God sort of takes them through a rough patch in their growth and creativity to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah. A whole lot.
Absolutely. A lot.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, come on, God, we here, we up here. God said, yeah, I know, but the people that you need aren't.
That's
And you're going to need them in the future.
Yeah.
right to make this nonprofit.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That's like a perfect example.
Go ahead.
Like,
Go for it.
Well, past all right. So when my business first crashed, like as it was crashing,
Right.
I came in here crying.
Oh, I said, Lord, please.
Like on Thursday, just us two sitting right here. I just had my notes because I just knew he had all the answers. I couldn't even articulate what was going on without crying. Like it was a big deal. Like because I put all in that business, like everything, like everything I had went in that business. And I feel like my vision was so strong, like. I found purpose here. Like, it's not about the money for me. I've built my organization simply off of helping people just get some motivation on the like spark a fire in them.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was seeing it happen. I was watching it happen. Of course, I was reaping the benefit of it happening. And then next thing I know,
Why am I laughing?
half of my business done turned on me on Instagram. It was just bad. It was horrible. It was just horrible. I went from making a lot of money to $0. Pregnant at that time.
Wow.
Making all that money from my house, I had no desire to work nowhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nowhere.
Why would you
It
want
wasn't in
to?
your future. That's right.
I knew no job was ever paying me that much money. So getting a job was insane. Like
Just to battle with yourself. Like,
job?
Yeah.
you want me to
paying
do
what?
What? Like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So I was definitely in a space of like, I don't know. Like I just don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no desire to do nothing else. And then I started working at a car dealership or something. I just needed something because Lori was here at that point. I felt like I was on a crunch. It was kind of like God sat me down, but He also gave me a timeline too. Like
Nice.
I'm gonna humble you,
Yeah.
but you're not about to sit in this pit either. You're not even gonna make it a pit,
Come on.
actually,
Yeah.
because you don't have time for that.
Right.
So it kind of forced me to like get on it, get it together, figure it out. And I was subbing. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I was pregnant, so I was like, nothing was giving. Like, I'm just there to collect a check. But I didn't know that 2 school years later, I would be teaching
Right.
there
Right.
Like a whole.
at my high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like a full circle moment. And it just makes me feel like this was meant to happen.
Absolutely.
And you would have never became a teacher if you didn't go through that. You would have been working in finance. Because I had a job for T. Rowe Price when I started the school just until my T. Rowe Price job started.
Right.
And then I fell in love with it. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I got my job to match my T. Rowe Price salary.
Okay.
So it's just like,
Wow.
worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Definitely.
And when I tell my students now, it's like I don't want them to feel like I'm so far-fetched from them. They don't know how old I am, but I did highlight the fact that 10 years ago, I was literally in your shoes. Like,
Right.
Yes.
10, just 10. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds a long time for them, but for me, it's like
Wasn't that long
That's
ago.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's
10
right.
years ago, I was literally
Yeah.
a freshman. 10 years later, I'm a freshman teacher.
Yes. Exactly.
That is like, wow for me.
Right.
But it makes a lot of sense because look what I was doing then. And I was working with adults in Forex. So I'm trying to help you unlearn real traumas, real stuff that's happened to you. Not
Right.
saying that the stuff my students don't go through is not real, but they have years of stuff
That's
that
right.
they have to work through.
Right.
Yeah.
House.
So if I can shift you as a 40-year-old,
Imagine what you can do.
imagine what I can
Yeah.
do with a 12-year-old.
Right. Right.
Like, so yeah, I do feel qualified at 20-something,
Okay.
even though you right behind me.
Right.
Because it's just like I worked to be here. Let's just say that. Like I studied to be here. It was a time in my couple times in my life where the world was silent, and I was really just like, "That's a bird, God. What you want me to know about that bird?" Like it was really like those eyes in church. You pointed me out for that before.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I'm listening because I know that I'm on a journey where I need to collect. I need to understand. I need to process because the next season I might not hear you. And it was like, I had that moment too where it's like I felt like I was on fire. God was always talking to me, always. And then nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, what happened? Like, I'm waiting for you to give me the message. And then I heard too, like, you have it. Like,
Yeah.
I've given you everything. Now you got to figure out what's in the bag to
Right.
pull out to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what I do now. every day. But I still study because I want to still add
That's
stuff
right.
to
That's
my
right.
bag.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
And empty some
That's
things
right.
because it's expired. But that's where I am. So when you say, well, like, what's the motivation? The fact that I know I got this bag that is actually like I worked to get to stuff in here. It's not like somebody just dropped it off and now I got to figure it out.
Right.
No, I created this syllabus and I know what's a part of it.
Exactly.
And I really believe in it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's going to happen.
Good.
Good. That's good. I was going to say, like, to what you were saying prior to that, both of y'all were saying that I think just God just, like, to me, desires for us to share our experiences with each other. Like, and from that, it just makes us extremely sensitive to everything and every person. I think that's why it makes it sometimes easy, at least for me, like, to, like, minister or counsel or talk to people about certain experiences that I might not have necessarily gone through, like, you kind of like what you said, but it just makes it creates the flow, like, because we're sharing it and it's there, and you, like you said, once you studied it and once you've kind of got an outlook of what they're talking about, you feel it, you sense it, you understand it. It just makes it an easy flow.
Nice.
I feel like for me, it's more of like I know that I can process this in a way that will free you from everything you feel, and that's why I do it.
Okay.
Because it's just like, if you've seen this how I see it, you wouldn't be talking to me like this right now.
And sometimes that's all it takes is, let me just break this down, because I don't think you see it.
Screw your brain a little bit.
I don't think you really kind of, let me reword it.
Yeah, but then you also, I feel like it's hard because on the flip side, you're combated with defense all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I deal with that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I started to pray for wisdom.
Yeah.
But I also know, like, I have the armor to, if you want to be defensive, we can do that. Like, I'm ready because I have the words to kind of calm that down too. I have no problem with saying, why you so defensive?
Yeah.
I made you feel some type of way? Like,
Yeah.
did that make you feel a way? Like,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
feel? And then we could talk through that.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, I've learned, I'm very blunt too. My delivery has been so much better over the years. I'm so grateful. But I know sometimes some people need you to, like, pat, and then tell them. I'm just to tell them.
You just to tell them.
I'm just going to tell you.
Got it.
Because, like, I don't have time.
You don't have the time.
Like, I don't have time for that. Like, because what we doing?
Yeah.
You want help or not?
Right.
And I think that's another reason why I feel like I'm a part of the do you want to figure it out type of crew. Because I can't get you to like all of that pulling and forcing.
So is that for just adults that you have that, because you put that energy into your students, like they need some time.
You
so
can
is
have
it
your
that
phone out.
they're an adult and it's like I can't, or is it because what you're describing is what you give to your students naturally?
Right.
So is it like a age thing? When they're a certain age, you just kind of you feel like, what do you think about that? Like,
I feel like my students just don't understand. The adults are defensive.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you do understand.
Really?
And you don't want to accept what you understand.
That's how
So
you
then
think.
we can't move forward.
Wow.
But
Wow.
children, it's
adults?
like, no.
Okay.
Not adults. I
adults.
think most adults.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cut you off, but
Especially
I think
from my age.
from your age,
Don't hit me.
I think most adults mask.
Yes.
Most adults mask. Most adults, when in this situation when they need help, they wear this mask, and the only way to take their mask off is to never put yours on. And everybody, so pastors got this pastor mask. I got to always be right. I got to please. I got to be proper in my speech, my learning. Everything got to be on point. The people are going to say I'm not this. They're going to say I'm not that. Once you take that off, because the pastor's a normal person as well, but when you make the pastor the big all, in all, of all, you make him wear a cape and a costume that he can't fully wear 52 Sundays a year, not including that, but also on the Bible study nights and also on some of the nights he speak during the week.
Yeah.
At some point, bruh, sis, that you can't wear that. So take that off. The deal with I don't watch Marvel comics, but I study everything. Marvel comics or DC, I study everybody, y'all. You know a person that's really I like, but I don't like.
Oh.
Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not into Batman.
There's a reason why I don't like Batman.
I like Superman.
Yeah, the reason I don't like
I
Batman,
don't watch none.
I don't watch none of it either. I don't watch
I
much.
do.
I don't watch much. And I don't go to movies or anything else like that. But you know who Batman is? Batman is a billionaire
Yes.
who spends his money fighting petty crimes.
It's a hobby.
Billionaire. He don't use his money to tear down big corporations that are messing up. He uses his billions to stop the person who's stealing somebody's pocketbook.
Yeah.
But
Think about it.
That's America, right?
I don't know what that is. That's crazy to me. That's who he is, basically. Basically, Batman is a billionaire who spends his money fighting thugs on the corner.
You know what that made me think about?
Go for it.
It made me think about America. And I say that because
I got to hear this one.
a lot of the people that's in jail, because, okay, when you said petty crimes, people stealing somebody's pocketbook.
I mean, you know, the bat thing. Come on, you say take somebody's pocketbook and run and
Right.
What's called the bat?
Batmobile.
The Batmobile, the bat layer, the bat skylight thing, whatever
Yes.
comes up. I don't know. That bat sign, I guess I just called it.
No,
that.
I get it. And what I
Yeah.
got was, like, most of the petty crimes come from a place, like, a community of people that need, like, the low-income people.
Yeah.
And it's like most of the jails are filled with low-income people.
That's
We got
true.
bigger fish to fry.
Wow, and bigger. Yes.
We got bigger fish to fry.
yes.
Because if you were giving them the
Yes.
things that they needed, they wouldn't be stealing.
And if you would get the big thieves, you get what I'm saying? They would have a little bit more.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
get the greedy people, not the hungry people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So I
that's why I
say,
like you.
I say all it to say about the mask and the costumes and stuff like that. I say all to say that when adults feel like their lives should be a certain way, or by this time in my life I should be that, I will put a mask on to make you think I'm that. And then that's what I have to speak to, because you come to me saying, I'm okay, but I'm not. So I got to deal with the part that's not okay. But you have this mask up saying everything is good.
I feel like the man started before them.
What you mean? Let's hear it.
Before the time where I got this age and I feel like my life should be a certain way.
Go for it.
I feel like the man started the first time my mother told me to stand in child's place. Don't ask questions. I said, do this because I said so.
Let me hear this.
That's the first time
You going
the
back?
mask
You
came
going
on.
way back
Okay.
there? How you
Because
do that?
that's where it really started.
Let me hear it.
Because, okay, putting a mask on is ultimately hiding your true identity, not being able to advocate for the things that you want or speak your piece, rather.
What you believe in?
What you believe in, how you feel, express yourself
Mhm.
on a simple scale.
Mhm.
And if you strip that, I guess, opportunity when I was 6, 5, because you want me to stop talking and you don't want me to talk back and you don't want me, you are teaching me how to not
Mask.
express myself.
How to-
Okay, now how do you feel about when I talk back and do those things at a 6-year-old, but then I use that same temperament, attitude, disposition with someone who's not my mother, aka a teacher? And so now when I got a class of 40, I don't have 15 minutes to go back and forth with you. But mom said, hey, express yourself. Right now, I need to be in the community to chill because I got to teach. Let me hear it.
So I think that it comes with conversation. I'm not
Yes.
saying that you just talk to me however you want and you express yourself. No, you have to learn that there's a time and a place to express yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly. It's the
that's
conversation.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
just
real
yeah.
adult thing. Like, you just, I feel some type of way at work, but I'm not about to start screaming at the PD.
Mm-hmm.
So do you tell in my question,
So
do you tell the child?
You
Yes.
tell the child. So in my to
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
but
yeah.
at least what I do with Chloe now, I don't just give her a direction without explaining why I'm asking her to do it. Like, so you said, what you say? Your mom said, like, stay in the child. Yeah, my mother used to say that too. Like,
stand in child's place,
be
don't
seen
ask
and
why.
not heard.
Yeah.
That used to be what my grandmother used to say.
Yeah.
So instead of saying something like that, I would say, listen, this is an adult conversation where I don't want you to interject. And the reason why is because, like, I want to give you, and it's not that I owe you an explanation necessarily, but because I don't want to mask what you're really feeling, because what you're saying actually is valid. And a lot of stuff that I allow her to just say, I'm like, oh yeah, I do understand why you said that. So I think that the conversation and fully explaining what your expectation is, what are we saying in the conversation, and why is kind of almost owed to the child a little bit, just to avoid a world full of people that cannot express themselves because for so long they've been told don't say anything.
Does
Be
that start?
quiet.
Does it start at a certain age? Does that start at a certain age?
I feel like
When they can start talking.
it's like a habit. Yeah, like it develops over
Yeah.
time.
No, what I'm saying is
disrespect should not be tolerated.
No. I'm saying does the explanation, does the child get an explanation? Does that start at a certain age?
No, it's just the way you articulate it.
Yeah.
So at 3 years old, you can tell a child, I want you to, I want you to, you know, this
You
is
should
adult
start
conversation.
building that character
like,
at that time.
It's not going to be, of course, the same conversation as I have with a 6-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
It,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
process as a
Right.
6-year-old. But yeah, I can
more I'm-
explain to you
Mhm.
why it's inappropriate to throw things at the doctor.
Right.
Right.
Because what if you would have hit somebody's child?
Yeah.
You know, it's
yeah,
just a way in which you communicate it, but definitely think the conversation should be there.
Good.
And you said
Absolutely.
something that you said, not that I owe you an explanation, and I feel like that's where a lot of parents are stuck.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can't get
We
past
have
that part.
so much pride.
Yes.
It's like you're not even allowing your child to be a person.
Or to be taught, to really be
That.
taught, because that's the lesson.
Yeah, to be taught or to be a person too, because it's just
Yeah.
like you so caught up on you trying to have this power. It's a power
Mhm.
struggle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're trying to have this power when you're actually losing it all, because
Okay.
you're training a child that's going to lash out on you eventually, especially this day and age.
Right.
They don't. Come on.
It has to be a different
And that is
approach.
why older teachers don't understand how my classroom functions.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see
A
that.
lot of things could be disrespect, but I'm so secure in who I am. You're not disrespecting.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Like, you're
And I
not-
know what you mean. Like, I kind of know what you mean.
yeah, it's like
Let's
you're
talk
not
about
disrespecting me,
Right.
unless you call me a B. Like all of that. Okay,
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
that's disrespect, but you saying, like, one of my students, I call her, like, we do cold calls. When you're not paying attention, I'm calling you.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "Don't piss me off." I said, "No, don't piss me off because you're not paying attention."
Yeah.
A teacher
Okay.
would have flipped. You would have got put out and all that.
Oh.
And for me, it's like she wasn't paying attention. She feels targeted because you were,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not paying attention. And then you're going to ask me a question when you was on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that.
Right. My approach with this is, so I was raised old school, and old school approach is, you know, do it because I told you to.
Right.
No explanation needed. That's how we was taught. But I also understood that our teacher or our disciplinary, our model of discipline was actually the belt or the whip or something like that. It was never talking to. That was never the mode. But I also know where that comes from.
Yeah.
That comes from slavery.
Absolutely.
You know, who beats a child? Who looks at a child and just, I'm just going, pop. I'm not talking
Right.
about a pop. I'm talking about pop, 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 pop.
Hurting you.
I'm like,
yeah.
come on. I'm like, hey, you know, you're 212 and the child is 38
Yes.
with wet clothes on.
Makes no sense.
And you just like, pop, 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 pop. And so you are unable to articulate yourself in your own natural way. I had to learn not to do that. So I don't bother or beat anything to my children, but I do talk. When I mean talk, I mean in every tone, every way, every piece of sarcasm and jokes and instruction, and with tone and with softness. I want to utilize all of those things. And I want to look you in your face and say, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand that there's a certain way boys handle knowledge and discipline, and there's a certain way young ladies handle it.
Right.
And there's a certain feel that you have to present. They got to know that you love them and they love you, and they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I give them all of that, all of that. The only difference about me is after that's over, we good. Nothing lingers for a day
Oh,
or
yeah.
two.
Like
No,
holding
no,
grudge-
no,
holding grudges and all.
nothing lingers. So my boys, I use the silent. My older boys, I got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. I use the silent approach.
Okay.
Here's this, you know what I'm saying? The silent approach. If I tell you to do something, you ain't doing it, or I ask you now, it's not a tell no more. So we not there. So now we at a place now we young men. You don't need a daddy, you need a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a little different now. So it's not telling you what to do. It's asking you. And then we have the conversation. This is why. This is what we built over time. You can't break this. You can't come against this. And if you do, it's not going to be well, because you shouldn't, because there's a foundation laid. Now, you may not take the same route I took, but there was a foundation laid, so life would not be as hard for you as it was for me. And when I sit down and talk, like, hey, sit down, we got to talk, eye to eye, man to man. Now we have to talk. I also have a 9-year-old. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got. It's a difference.
Different for each.
You
yeah,
get what I'm saying? I got
everybody's-
this dude here who just like, yeah, I know what's going on. I'm the smartest one in the house. I'm preached. I'm anointed. Touch not thy anointed. Do thy prophet no harm. You know what I'm saying? I got this little dude running around the house, and he just like, yeah, and he's very vocal.
Mhm.
Very vocal. Can explain everything he's doing and why. But I got to let him know, listen, dude, I need you to go to sleep tonight.
Right.
Because A, B, and C, and D, your mom tired.
Mhm.
This is the end of this day, man. Don't be like this.
Right.
Then I got this little 7-year-old.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? 6-year-old.
Yes.
And then I got to tell her, hey, you go to bed, we going to store tomorrow. Got it.
Right.
So you know every child, you know what I'm
Child,
saying?
yeah.
Like, yeah, we going to store tomorrow. Okay, daddy. That was it. You know, no yelling, no fussing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm developing. I don't know what I'm creating, but I do know we get some peace at night.
Yeah. I think that that
So everybody, go for it.
that resistance that we used to get, like you said, when your mother would tell you just be quiet or just not, causes you to go to the party and sneak out the window.
Wow.
Literally. It does.
I'ma just what? Like, but I feel like when you're speaking to someone and you give them the why, like you said, that each child has their own. We're even. We on an even playing field right now. Let's
crazy.
communicate about it. Let's talk about this.
It's so crazy that you said that word. Why? And because it's snatched away from us as children. And then when you get to young adulthood, trying to discover who you are,
Yes.
everybody is saying, what is your why?
Stop.
Yes.
Stop.
Make you schizophrenic.
Stop. Wait. Don't move. Nobody move. Nobody get hurt. And everybody listen to this. It's called people who are overly beaten or overly corrected become overly capricious. They apologize about every little thing and won't move. How do I know? Because I lived it. My father, don't move. Don't do this. Don't do that. Was probably the reason why I didn't move when somebody told me to move.
Yeah.
I see people right now as adults question everything. It's because their pastor, their leader,
Yes.
beat them
Their parent.
their parent about every little thing they did, so they could not move. So people who are overly, it's ultra correction.
Yes.
You're correcting people to the degree that they question everything they
Yes.
do, and they become over capricious and they apologize for everything, even talking back to their boss about something that they deserve.
Exactly.
I hope God don't get me for this,
Yeah,
but I gotta
it's
say
true.
something like, hey,
No, for real.
you worked for it.
And
Let us
even
have it.
those
Go
that
for it.
I was going to even those that the opposite of that that didn't really get as many rules,
Right.
they just do whatever without
true, too.
placing
That's true,
those
too. Those
boundaries or those
That is true.
that discipline. They kind of lack that discipline
guess
because
we
it was
gotta-
just open. So
Yeah,
you got to
guys
really
gotta
find
find
the
that balance.
balance.
That's
I'm not gonna
good.
lie.
Go
I
for
take
it.
the free person over the what's the word you use?
Overly capricious.
Overly capricious.
Then when you
I
could-
would take the free as a
You would.
fly bird
I'm like,
over a overly capricious.
me and you are the
person.
same way because
And
I
see, I
say,
don't.
yeah, and
I'll tell you
me and you the same way because I always say I'd rather you give me a lion than a lamb.
Okay.
I'd rather teach a house of lions
Because you know
than
they
a
got,
house of lambs.
know what they
I
got?
do. I would.
It's a
Go for it.
confidence piece for me.
Okay, go ahead.
If
Me
you
too.
got confidence, I could teach you what to be confident in.
That's how I feel the same.
If you are so apologetic, you got to unlearn too much.
Man.
You got to unlearn
Yeah, y'all
so
sound
much.
alike in this one.
Yeah, this was it.
This is actually
This is
yeah.
it right here. All
Everything
right.
turned.
We back.
Why
Everything
Kayla, we
changed.
back. Kayla, we
Everything
back.
changed
Kayla.
just now. Kayla.
Kayla, we back. We back. Let's go.
Because it's just like, you know how much work it takes to teach people how to unlearn? I think it's so hard. I know it's so hard. Because combating with somebody's belief system is a brick wall conversation.
That's true, too.
It can be
That's true.
So,
or not.
it is so much harder for me to get you to unlearn all of the things that you've been raised to believe and to get you. And after you unlearn, now I have to reestablish your character. That's already 2 steps of the process.
This is true. This is true. This is true.
And then if you're already young, wild, and free,
This is
I can
true.
just give you some boundaries with some explanations, and you can just understand me. Granted, you're going to slip up because you're used to just doing whatever you want. But if I constantly remind you, or if I constantly remind you of your goal, because this is your life. We are creating your life. So if I constantly remind you of the things that you find important, the things that you want, you're going to be more inclined to do it.
This is good.
If I apply incentive with what you want, it's going to make sense and you're just going to do it. Versus you knowing what you have to do, but your soul, or not your soul, but your mind has been wired in a way that is conflicting with what you want, it's a lot of work. I'm not saying I'm not willing to do the work, but just give me the lion.
Give me the person that talk too much over the person that don't talk at all.
Now, see, I feel like I'm called to both, like the lion and the lamb.
Let's hear it.
I actually love that. I love the developmental piece in it, and I know that it can take some time, but I think because I know that like my process was a little shaky, everything was a little shaky, and it's still shaky, but it just has built like more patience for certain things, and I just love it.
I don't have that.
I love carving out why did this happen? When did I love that part, and because I know you might mess up, and it's okay. Like, but I'm called to both.
To both.
Yeah, like I'm not really like irritated or nothing with the time, or it's like a thing. And I feel like we kind of don't give people the space to have their own personal process. Like we kind of like at least what I've seen is that we kind of define like the process. If you don't catch on in 30 days, like then, didn't give up or leave it alone. Or it's too much.
That's how you think
I'm
people
saying
feel?
that no. I'm saying that I've noticed that in some process there's not a long time for people, and for some people, that's a good thing. For some people, they catch right on, and that's for them. Let me finish what I'm saying.
I'm not taking. I'm
gonna forget.
I'm sorry. Go
just
ahead.
That's what I'm be saying.
Yeah, but I'm not fussing with you.
I
right
know,
now,
but
Tia.
the problem
Go
is
ahead,
that when I
Tia.
be
Tia, go ahead.
now it's probably gone. Now I gotta bring it back.
All
Wait,
right.
just wait a second.
Go ahead.
I hate when you do that.
This is the lion part now.
Okay. So anyway, like I was saying, I think that people create this process that is sometimes short term, and if you don't get it within this time, it's like I just have to kind of walk away from you. Whereas some people have a longer process, and it's just like I feel like that whoever that teacher is, you're just assigned to that person to go along with them on the process. Now you would know when to fold them, and you would know when to go with them. It's not for everybody, but for me, I actually enjoy that.
That's dope. I think that with the word that you said, patience, I know I don't have it, but I also know what I don't have patience for. I do have patience. Let's say that because I work with high schoolers in math, algebra. So I have some type of patience.
Yeah.
But I don't have patience for mediocrity.
Okay. Mediocrity.
And I feel like personally, if we walk through who you are, how you got to this person, because I feel like people always ask me, okay, so my business is called Phasing Per Purpose. And everybody always think I have all of the answers to get them to purpose. And I created like a blueprint. The first step is to examine your past. Okay. If we do that and we figure out all of the things that make you who you are in the present, then we can exceed in the future. Mm-hmm. And I get frustrated with people, I can honestly say this, is when we've highlighted things that in your past that contributes to how you behave now, and you don't do nothing about it. Right. So now these conversations that we're having is like the same conversations because you're not doing the work. Got it. That is why I can take a lion and calm you down a little bit versus somebody that is already calmed and I got to give you a spark. Because there's so much stuff. First of all, I don't even know if you're actually telling me everything. I don't know you. So it's like I don't really know if you're giving me everything I need to help you. So now I'm doing 3 times the work because I got to figure you out. Right. Figure you out for you to figure yourself out. Make it make sense. See, I ain't got the patience to talk about the process. So, too much.
So my take on this, what Tia was saying, and my take on this is everybody can learn, but learning also comes with your interest in the teacher.
Right.
So what I was saying about Tia was, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was trying to kind of agree with what you were saying, where you're going, and I apologize for that. But here it is. The teacher has to know you're not my student. It's not the fact that you can't get in 30 days. The teacher has to be aware that saying, it's not that you can't get in. No, you can't. You're not my student. You need to be with another teacher. Yeah. And if the teacher don't know that, the teacher will waste his time teaching. Not only are you wasting your time, you're wasting the other person's time. Because teaching is about timing. Right. You have to get some person from one point to the next, or else the season run out. So that's why you got seasons and classes. So teaching is never a lifetime with one coach. It's processes and steps.
Definitely.
If you're not the person that says, wait a minute, you need, every teacher needs to know who their students are.
Yeah, you do.
The Bible said that Jesus chose his disciples, and those who couldn't walk with him, he sent them away. So you can't teach everybody, but everybody can be taught. And that's where I was like, wait, hold up. So it's not that the process or people just can't get it. No, you can get it. You just got to get it by somebody else. Right. And if the right person teach you, you can get it in one day faster than I can give it to you in 30. That's what I was saying. So now I am at the place now that's saying you don't belong in this class. We're not going to waste your time, my time, or everybody else that's learning. Yeah. This is not a class you belong in. You belong in another classroom. The arrogance of the teacher, in my opinion, and the pride, teacher, I can teach anybody. I can teach anybody. Then why do God got so many teachers? If you can teach everybody, you can. I was at that place too. And so what I would do is I would take hours to break down something, and I realized some people just not going to get through my voice or my teaching. So the genuine thing to do is to let the student know, I love you, be cool, everything is good. I'm not your guy.
So how do you create the standards for the people that, like you're referring to as far as the teaching? How do you know, like, if you do have students that do catch on to certain things and they really are intrigued and they understand, but there's some things that just doesn't click.
Right.
Is that a lack of patience because I can't go back through this again and I think you need to find another teacher? Or is it like, I'm just not assigned to you? Like, because if there are some things that person is latching on to, or some things that they actually are clearly have been drawn to you for some reason,
right?
Like, how do you define your standards for that?
So I always say that your student, when you're dealing with, and I'm not talking about the classroom, by the way. So I'm not talking about the classroom. You good on your time, Kayla? We about to get you out. We got babies and everything else, so we got you. Okay, we got you. All right. I see that look on your face.
I got less point.
Fully aware. We gonna get you out of here. Fully aware. So and then after we say this, get this part here. You tell us about your business and everything else, and we're gonna move forward. Okay. All right. So at this point, so the teacher has developed a syllabus. Mm-hmm. You develop a syllabus first of all as a spiritual teacher. You always God send you people so that you can teach. First of all, people recognize the anointing. They recognize what they can hear. Their soul recognize the truth in something that you're saying. So it is like spirits connect, heart to heart and breast to breast is what we call it. So you recognize that there is something that they are saying that I'm connected to, even though I don't know why I'm connected to it. But there is a connection there. Right. And that connection keeps us in process of the teacher, student. We are learning together. I'm learning from you, you're learning from me. You're teaching me and I'm teaching you. We have that camaraderie, that fellowship. Yeah. We have that. You sense that. But there are some people that are completely disconnected. That I am not getting over to you. It's almost like when I say something, it's like you go blank. It's almost like, wait a minute. The reason why you know you belong is because you saying something I heard when I was 7, and I never forgot. Mm-hmm. I heard when I was 15, and you bringing it back. The teacher never tells you what you don't know. Education is to bring out what you already know. If I'm bringing something out that you don't know or you're not aware of, you're sitting here wasting your time, and you're going back and you are frustrating yourself. My thing is, with all this stuff, you are losing time. That's my whole thing. You can't lose time because you don't get hours back. You don't get moments back. The kids get older. Your body gets tired. I always tell my members all the time, make sure y'all go out and jump in everything y'all want to do. What I mean by the jump into a business in your early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, jump into it. Jump into it, fail, because you got more buoyancy to bounce back. Mm. Because once you get to 38, 39, and 40, you don't have as much bounce back. Not because you can't, it's because the responsibilities and the people that you build connections with. You're too connected to people to really fail, because once you fail in your late 30s, you folk coming down with you. Early 20s and stuff, you fall, you can jump right back up again. Just go right back home in mama's basement. You know what I'm saying? Come back out again, let's go. The older you get, the less buoyancy you have. So my thing is, while y'all trying to get it, you are losing time. And no one knows how much time you have. So now you finally got it, 65 years old, 62, and you can't use it. I have failed. Trying to get you to get it for the last 20 years.
That was not my question.
I know I know it wasn't your question, but your question is about the process. How do you know that student is not yours? And I'm trying to tell you.
No, that wasn't a question either.
What was your question then?
What standards do you have in place?
Wait a minute, let me finish. No standards. It's spiritual. I have no standards.
Okay, so what's spiritual? Like, what I'm saying is, if you have students that are connected to you at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a moment when they might not get something.
Yeah.
Is that a complete shutdown for you?
No.
Or that's what I'm saying. What is that process like when there was some type of connection to
People don't get as the teacher, I know people are not going to get it right away.
Okay.
I know that. So that's not who I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about people who don't get a point.
Okay.
Or people who don't get a lesson.
Okay.
I'm talking people who don't get me.
Okay. Yeah. People that don't get you.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the study though.
Yeah.
Because learning is a process. So I'm not talking people who don't get a point or a scripture or a word. I'm talking about people who don't get me. And if you don't get the teacher, you're not going to get the lesson.
I feel like if the teacher don't get themselves, they won't know who that audience is.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
So I feel like that's the answer that you was looking for. Like, what is the standard? The standard, I feel like the standard comes from who you are, what you stand for, what are you teaching. And if you don't align with all of my things, you ain't for me.
And I feel like as a teacher in general, like a student, most students can get something from you. They might can't get everything from you, but they can get something from you. But yeah, that's why I say you have to know when to fold them and when it's time to.
Yeah. For me, it's like.
I'm not playing. I'm really listening. I'm not playing.
Okay, because you.
I'm not playing.
The way your lip is.
My lips are my lips.
Doing something.
No, my eyes are
like
on
it.
you.
Okay.
You don't have to like it.
Yeah, so.
I'm not doing it for your likes.
I don't.
Go for it.
So anyway, like I said, I feel like you have to.
I'm like
what
her lights got to
I
do with
just
my
happened
face?
to look over and it was
and
like.
I'm looking right at you,
like
Tia.
a lot of
It's
fire.
it's fine, Tia.
It was warm.
It's all right.
Over there.
That's all right.
Okay, that's all I'd say about that.
All right.
So now, we're gonna shoot to Kayla to do.
Yeah,
do her
Kayla,
thing.
we can get you
But
out
can
of
we? Is it any way we can just do a quick little ad real quick, and then we can go to that? Just a couple minutes.
Ad.
Yeah, it's like a little ad that plays.
Oh, go
It's
ahead.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, and then come back
I
with
thought you
your.
was about to tell me to do the ad.
No.
She's like a ad.
No script.
This is your spiritual podcast station. Be sure to check out all new episodes of Pastor Anthony Said every Tuesday. Episodes are available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and everywhere that podcasts are available. Episodes are also available on our YouTube channel at Pastor Anthony Said. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe today. We love you, and thank you for loving us. This is your spiritual podcast station, Pastor Anthony Said, and we are excited to bring you lunch at Truth Cafe. Introducing lunch at Truth Cafe every day. Come in for all your Truth favorites, plus new cheesy tacos, ribeye savory melts, and delicious burgers. Over 7 lunch combinations starting at just $6.99. Truth Cafe. Make sure you come in for lunch with us. We'll see you there. Peace and Love Yoga Studio is here for you. Located at 5001 Harvard Road, Suite C, Baltimore, Maryland. Peace and Love Yoga Studio is calling all beginners and caregivers in any capacity. That's right, all parents, healthcare workers, and teachers. Our studio is a place of restoration and oasis for you. Peace and Love Yoga Studio offers in-person classes every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with special drop-in rates of just $30. Yoga mats are available for you to rent. Other services include private yoga sessions and private Reiki sessions. Peace and Love Yoga Studio offers so much for you, and we look forward to practicing with you. Call or text 410-814-1386. That's 410-814-1386. Or contact us on Instagram or Facebook at Peace and Love Yoga 333. Namaste. We'll see you soon. Yes, yes, yes. We are back with Miss Kayla. This has been very interesting.
This is good. This is good. Okay, so Kayla, you have been talking a lot, and we all been talking, but you have basically been talking about your purpose, your ability to speak to people, encourage people, and move in. So and move on that spot. I will stand to say, you are called to this. Fully walk in your calling. You really didn't get much about your personal life, and you could have, but you didn't. You are passionate about what you are saying, how you are saying it, and who you're helping. There is deep call to the deep. There's something about you that's turned on by when you talk about helping others and speaking to others. There's another level to you. When you hear the voice, harden not your heart. Take that step. It may be a quantum leap, but you can handle it. So let's go. Let's
Absolutely.
go for it. Tell us about yourself and close us out.
Okay, so I feel like I said a lot about myself, but what I did not talk about, which is so dear to my heart, is my nonprofit organization. It's called Phasing Per Purpose Foundation. I was about to say investors because that was the Forex business. But yes, I do have a nonprofit organization that I will be releasing to the world at the end of this year. Once again, it's called Phasing Per Purpose Investors, where we are passionate about helping young people find purpose in every phase or season of their life. And yes, so if you know that you are a young adult, and if you're not a young adult, I don't really have a limitation on age. But if you know someone, if it's you or someone else, you could definitely refer them to my personal Instagram right now, which is HVLYVK. That's it. Okay, so at HVLYVK. You can just shoot me a DM, and I will definitely put you on the contact form, contact sheet, and send you over some information for our upcoming dates. So, yes, thank you. It's been an honor. Do you want to know anything else about me?
No, you good. You good. We
Okay,
good.
great.
That's good.
It has been an honor. This will not be my last time.
Okay.
All right,
We
now.
had a time.
It's a good time.
I had fun.
Yes.
So, yes, thank you for your time.
Yes. All right.
We
Bring
are
us
so
into-
excited that you joined us on today. I know that this is going to motivate a lot of young women, and I'm just glad that you had the opportunity and the platform to be able to share all of this with other young women and everyone that can latch on. I think it's amazing. It's so much more to come.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for coming on. Do you want to give any announcements, Lily?
Listen, we got a business venture ourselves, LIBA, Love Investors Benefit Association.
Yes.
Love Investors Benefit Association, LIBA. We are blessing folk. We are giving away money. We are helping people start their business, get started, get going. We got bless you. Hallelujah. Start their
Yes.
business, get going, and move forward. And I thank God for that. Love Investors Benefit Association. Our big day is December the 29th. We are blessing people who are getting started in entrepreneurship. This is bigger than a thing. This is something real.
Yes.
We are at the beginning stages of this.
Yes.
We have our ups and our downs, our hiccups and our hang-ups and our flaws and our scars, but we got our good. We got some things as blessing, and I'm excited about the entire process. I can't wait to tell you about what I've learned about this. I can't wait to tell you what I learned about people and how people give. I can't wait to tell y'all about what our community need.
Yeah.
And how we can be a blessing within our own community without getting help from anybody else. Can't wait to tell you how much money that we have in our community, that if we knew how to galvanize this, I'm telling you, a lot of people would be helped right in your own house.
Yes.
I am going to share my story, but right now, I'm telling you, we are doing this thing. Love Investors Benefit Association.
Yes.
Listen, if you want to give, we ask everybody for $100 this year. That's right, $100. Give $100 to Join LIBA. That's Cash App Join LIBA. You can give. You can go on our website.
Yes.
They Libba, Join Libba. It's a website, www.joinlibba.com. So you can go there and check it out and see what we have going on. And if you want to be a part of it or a recipient, let us know in the comments. You can go ahead and just go ahead and share this blessing with someone else while we're blessing someone else. I just believe that we're blessed to be a blessing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is about. So Love Investors Benefit Association, year number 2. Year number 2, sophomore year. Year number 2, and we're going into year number 3. And I am excited about this for Higher Heights and Deeper Depths. This year we have an honoree.
Yes.
We will announce our honoree at the beginning of October. But this year we have an honoree.
Yeah.
And so our first honoree of Libba Charity starts at home, then it spreads abroad. We have an honoree. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just be a blessing. This is going to be good. Love you guys. God bless.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think that's all of our announcements. Make sure that you check out this episode of Pastor Anthony Said. Listen, this is your spiritual podcast station, and we just brought you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. We are the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. This episode will be available Tuesday. All episodes are available every Tuesday. Available on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you can listen to podcasts. We love you, and thank you for loving us.